it's all BS. He should just keep doing that and bat them away, dismiss them. He should never have filed a lawsuit because now you're under oath, motherfucker. And guess what? You lie under oath. That's a crime. It could be impeachable. Oh, who did that? I did not have sex relations with that woman. Not one time.
Bruce Rivers, he's the criminal lawyer. Bruce Rivers, he's the criminal lawyer. Bruce Rivers, he's the criminal lawyer. And what he do? And it's gonna react to all the self-snitching.
Hi, this is Bruce Rivers. Welcome to another fun-filled episode of Criminal Lawyer Reacts. I'm Bruce Rivers, your very own board-certified criminal defense lawyer, coming to you with my pearl-handled pistol cufflinks, so graciously gifted to me by the content genius that you knew as Michael Rivers, God rest his soul. Today, we're reacting to the news of Trump. Now, it's not really new news, but Trump and his machinations with Rupert Murdoch and the Wall Street Journal and the disclosure of this birthday card he supposedly gave to Jeffrey Epstein. But before we get to what all this means and the big fights that are going on, this is brought to you by AskALawyer.com. AskALawyer.com is a very effective way for you to get legal advice for almost nothing, $49. Are you kidding me? Go to AskALawyer.com if you have an issue with your landlord, if you have an issue with a contract, if you have an issue where you want to sue somebody but you're not quite sure on how to go about it, or if you have a decent claim, go to AskALawyer.com. Why wouldn't you? You can do one of two things. You can either dispel the myth that you're in your grandson's basement and he's mistreating you and you want to file an elder abuse claim. That could happen. Or you have a claim. Knowing you don't have a claim can be just as valuable to you as knowing that you have a claim. Because guess what? If somebody screws you over, you want to go after them, don't you? I mean, you want to get your justice. Knowing that you don't really have a claim kind of gets you some closure, and you can do that. Or knowing how to go about it to get to the next step is also equally beneficial. So for $49, you go to AskALawyer.com. I highly recommend it. And guess what? As of August 1st, guess who the national spokesperson and whose mug is going to be sponsoring this? Me. They're also the same people that brought you eForm and eSign. And if you're doing your own legal research, they have an AI component, so you can go to AskALawyer.com and take care of what you need to take care of. Okay? All right. So Donald Trump is in a fight with Rupert Murdoch, and the whole Republican Party is now fighting this whole Epstein thing. Trump has said that this is a witch hunt, it's a hoax, and he also said that this was the Democrats, distract. That doesn't make sense. When was Ghislaine Maxwell prosecuted? Do you know when? Under the Trump administration. They're the ones that did it was under that administration that the execution of the search warrant happened of Epstein's place. It was during the Trump administration that Epstein was found hung dead in his cell, if you believe that. And so there's all these conspiracy theories, right? Oh, the government killed Epstein because there's all these people on this list. And look at this clip of Pam Bondi.
The DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review. That's been a directive by President Trump. I'm reviewing that. I'm reviewing JFK files, MLK files. That's all in the process of being reviewed because that was done at the directive of the president from all of these agencies.
So have you seen anything that you said, oh my gosh?
Not yet.
Okay.
She said that the list is on her desk, but she meant the file is on her desk. The file wasn't on her fucking desk. There's terabytes and terabytes of information that they got from Epstein's. The file wouldn't fit on her desk. And then all of a sudden you have an about face. Well, they can't release all the files on the Epstein case. They just can't. Why can't they? Because they would be disseminating child pornography. But could they release manifests for the flight logs? Absolutely they could. Clinton was supposedly used his plane 26 times. RFK Jr. used his plane twice. Alan Dershowitz has gone down there. All these people have used his plane, his resources. But does that mean that they were engaged in, activity that was illegal? Probably not. The stratosphere that encompasses all these conspiracies is just beginning to percolate and percolate and percolate. It's kind of the news of the day, right? Donald Trump was the subject of a Wall Street Journal post. And the Wall Street Journal posted just a description. They didn't even post the fucking card. So supposedly in 2003, when Epstein turned 50, Ghislaine Maxwell supposedly was going around and garnering birthday cards, having famous people. So and look at all these photos of Trump with Epstein. Here's one. Here's another one. Here's another one. He lived in Palm Beach. So while Donald Trump may not have gone to St. James Island, he certainly palled around with Jeffrey Epstein in Palm Beach. That's a fact. And you see this one. Watch this one clip where Epstein and Trump are sitting there on the dance floor looking at these girls. They're buddying each other up, right? I mean, this is not somebody that you don't know, and you can just feel the camaraderie going on there. It's very familiar. It is very, is it really unthinkable that Donald Trump would send them a birthday card? No. But is it unthinkable that somebody might make this up? Yeah, somebody might. I mean, Trump's made a lot of enemies over the years. What does Trump do by suing the Wall Street Journal? What does he do? He opens himself up. Opens himself up to a deposition. Opens himself up to discovery. Opens himself up to way more criticism. He should just relegate this to, it's all BS. He should just keep doing that and bat them away, dismiss them. He should never have filed a lawsuit. Because now you're under oath, motherfucker. And guess what? You lie under oath, that's a crime. It could be impeachable. Oh, who did that? I did not have sex relations with that woman, not one time. And you know what? It was a tortured definition of sexual relations with Paula Jones, with that woman. That woman who gave him a taste of a sweet cigar. Had Clinton just defaulted, and Alan Dershowitz gave this advice a way, way long time ago. Had he defaulted on the lawsuit, then it would just be an issue of damages. And they couldn't depose Clinton. If you don't depose Clinton, you don't have the impeachment. You just don't. Trump is falling into the same fucking trap because everything is personal with Trump, right? Everything's personal. But I think even if a judge ordered him to be deposed, I don't think he would allow himself to be deposed on this case. And if he doesn't, then his case gets dismissed. So he talks about all these. He hasn't won any of these civil lawsuits. I mean, with the rape allegation and the fraud allegation, he still owes better part of $500 million. $500 million. That's $500 million. So there's a case called New York Times versus Sullivan, and it's a Supreme Court case. And what that basically stands for, the proposition, is that you have to have actual malice. You have to know it's not true, and you have to have malice in the way you do something. For an example of this, they're publishing something that Trump, and the Wall Street Journal called Trump ahead of time, his people, and they said it was false. So they printed it anyway, but they also, when they printed it, they said that Trump denied that he wrote it. So you don't have the malice component, I think, in this case that you do. And here's the other thing. If it's true, that's an absolute defense. But what does it give the Wall Street Journal and Dow Jones the ability to do, and and what does it give Roger Murdoch the ability to do? What does it give them all to do? It gives them the ability to do discovery and start going into the relationship with Epstein, documents, flight logs, every time you were at his place. And then they get other witnesses. It turns into this big thing that Trump really shouldn't turn this into. His skin is so fucking thin. It's incredible. Now, here's the other thing that's going on. So you remember Ghislaine Maxwell? You know, she was his right hand. And sometimes she used both hands. She procured these young ladies for Epstein, right? That was her main deal. She was tried and convicted, and she got a 20-year sentence, which is a pretty stiff sentence, especially somebody at her age. It's like a life sentence, really. It's the last third of your life, right? Trump's personal lawyer, who is a deputy attorney general now, is going to go talk to her. And guess what's going to happen there? Let's say she discloses some really negative shit about Trump. You think that's going to go anywhere? No. No, this guy's going to bury it, deep six it. You know that's going to happen. Now, you MAGA people, and I do mean you people, not really. I mean, look, you're Americans just like everybody else, right? And if we were in a fucking foxhole, we'd defend each other to the deals, you know, because we're Americans, right? But you might be wrong about some things. I might be wrong about something. It doesn't mean we have to hate each other. I'm not a MAGA guy. But I will tell you this. If you were a MAGA person and you heard Trump talk about these conspiracies, if you believe in these conspiracy theories, you know, that there's a secret list out there with all these high-profile people on it, and now you've got somebody that's so closely associated with Trump that he is going to talk to Ghislaine Maxwell, and what's her deal? You know, she the only reason for her to do this is to try to get out, right? Let me posit a scenario. What if he goes to talk to her, and all of a sudden Trump commutes her sentence, but nothing's released? What does that fucking tell you? That tells you Trump is guilty as fuck, right? And he's protecting other people. I can't imagine that he would protect Bill Clinton, but I don't think he sees Hillary as his enemy. I don't think he sees Bill as his enemy necessarily, because Bill Clinton's never said or done anything that was really negative to him, right? If you are a believer in conspiracies, then rest assured that any action taken by Trump is going to be to cover this shit up. Look at Johnson. He had a bill that was ready to rock and roll to release all the Epstein stuff. Instead of addressing that bill, what do? They went on early recess. Oh, let's go on recess. So where there is smoke, there is fire. And I think Trump is being so short-sighted about this. He wants to, because everything is public image, right? So, and if you remember, he did sue Paramount or CBS because of the 60-minute interview where they tried to make Kamala look better, I guess, which I don't know that they necessarily did. But what were his damages there, honestly? What were his fucking damages? I mean, he won the election. He didn't lose the election. So they settled for $16 million. Well, maybe he's using that $16 million now to fund his current lawsuit. Who knows? But I think he's going to really regret that he's making this more, unless he's doing this. You know, you ever hear the phrase, "Methinks thou protest too much." You know, you can tell something's really bugging Trump why are we all of a sudden talking about the 2016 election? Almost 10 years later. That Obama is behind it all. Don't look at the waving hand, look over here, look at the distraction. And then he's weighing in on hosts of late night television. Fucking who cares what you think about that? I mean, why would you do that? You're the fucking president of the United States. Why don't you worry about... I thought you said you were going to have the Ukraine war between Ukraine and Russia solved within 24 hours. That didn't happen. And I thought you were going to have the Gaza and Israel thing settled within 20. Oh, that didn't happen. Oh, you're going to return... the hostages still aren't back. Oh, okay. Yeah, you're going to make peace... Oh, no, we don't have peace everywhere. So you're full of shit. And all you're doing is heaping more shit onto yourself. You're just now coming to the realization that... Now, this is a political rant, but it is what it is. Just now coming to the realization that Russia ain't our friend. Well, gee, big fucking surprise there. Fucking third grader could have told you that. But I digress. I don't want this to be a bashing Trump video, which it kind of is turning into a little bit. But But aside from my criticisms of Trump, Jeffrey Epstein was an evil, evil man. He preyed on young girls who didn't have shit going on for themselves. And nothing is more evil than that, honestly. It's unclear to me whether he farmed that out as a perk of St. James Island. I don't know if he did that or not. We do know that he let people use his plane. We do know that he fraternized with famous people quite a bit, and that people wanted to hang out with him. For what purpose? Because he's of the rich and famous? I mean, what was he famous? I never heard of him until this stuff popped up. But if you remember, when he was first arrested on this deal, he got a sweetheart deal. 13 months, home confinement. Or did he get home confinement? Well, I know he got work release, so he could go home and work from home. Doing what? I don't know. And that deal kind of got blown up. But who gets that kind of deal? Nobody. Nobody gets that kind of deal. Did he offer that kind of deal? No, his skin's the wrong color. And he doesn't come from the upper crust. But anybody else, nobody on this fucking planet would get that deal. Why did he get that deal? That needs to be investigated. You know, who did he have for lawyers? He had Alan Dershowitz and Ken Starr. Who's Ken Starr? Remember who Ken Starr was? Ken Starr was the prosecutor in the Clinton impeachment, right? He's the one to depose him, and knowing he was going to lie and knowing that they had the blue dress. Without that blue dress, they didn't have shit. Just his word against somebody else's word. But they were going to do his DNA off that blue dress, that's just kind of a reckless discharge, if you ask me. So when you look at this whole thing, if Trump has any culpability here, he should just shut his mouth. And if he doesn't, he should shut his mouth, because it's just a distraction. I would just say, look, I'm not part of the Epstein thing. She was prosecuted. He's dead. I don't know any more about it. And we're not going to release the files because they're all full of child porn. And I can't release that to you if I wanted to anyway, because it's barred by statute. And I wouldn't want to re-victimize these young girls. I wouldn't want those girls' names and images plastered all over the fucking place. Would you? I mean, they shouldn't release that shit. I mean, they just shouldn't. In order for this to metastasize and to open it up and for all the conspiracy things to happen, I read somewhere that it was over 1,000 girls. I don't know if that's true or not. That seems like a lot. I mean, if it was 1,000 girls, we're talking life in prison for somebody, and she only got 20 years. So, you know, honestly, it should just die. This whole issue with Epstein should just die. And I'm not saying this because I'm part of the deep state. I'm not part of the deep state. Unless they've got really solid cases against people, you know, these younger, and then unless these young girls are willing to be disclosed to who they are, leave it alone. Because don't you think they've been traumatized enough? So, I mean, that's an angle I think not a whole lot of people are looking at. You know, Pam Bondi filed a motion to have the grand jury transcripts released to the general public, and there's some litigation going on there. I don't support that, honestly. I mean, it's not going to say anything about anybody but Ghislaine Maxwell, and it'll probably name some people that she trafficked. So to that extent, I would say that those names should be just deleted out of there, because what's going to happen with those people? Well, they're not minors anymore, but I guarantee you that the press would be all over that. They would investigate it, they'd find them, they would hunt them down, and then they would harass the shit out of them. Do you think they need that? I don't think they need that. They don't need any national exposure. You know, the one gal who was with, I think, Prince Andrew, what a prince. I think she passed away in some kind of accident, you know, and no amount of money is going to give these girls their dignity back or take away the trauma that they suffered. So why the fuck are we doing this, honestly? You know, and do I think that Ghislaine Maxwell should now benefit from some disclosure of somebody who was at their place? She had that opportunity before she went to trial. You realize that, right? you have the opportunity to cooperate in a big case like this long before you go to trial. And she turned it down. My advice, let's move on. But if we're not going to move on, let's watch. So Donald Trump, if you're listening, which I know you are, because Donald Trump is one of my biggest fans. I'm just joking. He doesn't know who the fuck I am. But opening himself up to discovery on this case is foolhardy. We'll keep watching this, but my guess is that this lawsuit against Rupert Murdoch and the Wall Street Journal is going to die away. It is. I don't think Rupert Murdoch is going to pay any money out on this case. I don't think that there's any compensable. I mean, Trump is who he is. I mean, he said, yeah, you can grab them by their body parts on TV. I mean, that's been widely publicized. No one's going to think that because of this, it's going to really hurt Donald Trump's image. He does enough hurting his own image every day. So, all right, a little housekeeping business. We got a letter. Check this out. We got a letter from some guys down in Yuma, Arizona. I'm going to read this to you. This is the kind of shit I just love. We're writing to you from sunny Yuma, Arizona, and wanted to send a little token of our appreciation for the fantastic content you put on your Criminal Lawyer Reacts YouTube channel. We've been avid viewers for a while now, and your videos always spark some great water cooler conversation for us. We love your no-nonsense and often humorous takes on your React videos. We truly appreciate the content you create. As a small thank you, I prefer big thank yous. No, I'm just joking. As a small thank you, we've enclosed a t-shirt and a can koozie from our dealership, Bobby's Territorial Harley-Davidson here in Yuma. We thought you might appreciate the criminal in the artwork given your profession, and that Yuma is famous for the Yuma Territorial Prison. We hope they come in handy. So this is what they sent me. They sent me a koozie, and then they sent me this shirt. Now, as you may or may not know, you see it? As you may or may not know, I ride a Harley Davidson. And, guys, you could have sent me I have a 2015, and I'm about ready to buy a new one. So you could have sent me a new one. I'm joking. But I love this engagement with people. I love the fans, and so I'm not pining for gifts by any means, because you guys send me too much shit the way it is. But I really do appreciate the sentiments and the support, and it just makes me feel really good because, Michael created this channel, and I want to keep it going. It was his legacy, and his memory is in my heart. So, along with my dear Clodagh, my fiance. Anyway, so we'll see you next time here on Criminal Lawyer Reacts. Now, here's the deal. We lowered the price on some hoodies, so go to CLRBruceRivers.com because we got some new ones coming in, but we want to get rid of the old ones, but they're still fantastic. So order yourself a hoodie. Make sure you sign up for Patreon, subscribe, go to Facebook and Twitter, everywhere we are, and make sure you go to askalawyer.com. We'll see you next time here on Criminal Lawyer Reacts.
Bruce Rivers just broke down your case. He know all the charges that you about to face. You ain't coming home till 2058. That self-snitching gon' get you put away. Bruce Rivers just broke down your case. He know all the charges that you about to face. You ain't coming home till 2058. That self-snitching gon' get you put away. 23-hour lockdown, please, is that my God?